Hello and welcome to another episode of Friday Minis. Today, we're gonna go back in time 20 or so years to look at dip switches. This is something that you pretty much don't see or hear of today, pretty much at all. And yet, this is one of the most common methods of making settings on electronics back then. Dip switches stands for dual inline package switches. Basically, this is what they are. They are a whole line of switches, 8 to 12 of them, and basically they can be used to control settings. Now I guess these actually have a number of different applications. For example, each individual switch could actually be one particular setting. In this case, since there are only two options, it will be pretty much on or off. Or you can actually combine the effects of multiple switches and actually have this entire line represent a number. How do switches represent a number? Well, this is a little bit too much to actually talk about in an episode of Friday Minis. So suffice to say, essentially you can use these switches to represent a number in binary. And if you don't know how to count in binary, you can check out one of my older series called How to Count, which, well, focuses more on hexadecimal numbers, I guess, but also contains a segment on how to count in binary. But why the need for dip switches? I mean, most of our devices today either have a screen or buttons or that kind of stuff. But you see, back in the day, well, those were just less common. I guess it's more expensive to manufacture. Maybe it's difficult to get, so many buttons close together. And for a lot of such applications, these are things that maybe you set once and never change again. So it seems kinda impractical to devote sources to something that you are gonna set once and not touch again. And I guess that's why dip switches were so popular. So what were the applications of dip switches? Well, as a device, it's actually pretty versatile because really all it is a line of switches, and it's up to the rest of the components to actually, try to understand what these switches actually mean, which is why we've seen them in a wide variety of uses. For example, on computer motherboards, on graphics cards, on modems, on game consoles. And normally they're used to make some, lower level kind of settings. So yeah, I guess that's a piece of history for you. I don't really know why I covered this in particular, but it intrigues me, I guess, to see, how people found innovative solutions to actually cutting down resources and yet making things accessible for a general user. I mean, I guess it takes a certain amount of knowledge to actually, operate dip switches, but normally you'll find such instructions in a manual anyway. Anyway, that's it. That's all there is for this episode of Friday Minis. Don't forget to like, favorite, comment, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter. Until next time, you're watching 0612 TV.